my first ever creepypasta reading. If you like it, please subscribe and leave a like. Okay, without further delay, this is Salt. Have you ever had the feeling that you were being watched? If you have, you will know exactly the same sensation that I have endured for the past month. I don't know how or why you can tell if you are being watched. Maybe it's a survival mechanism, or even just your psyche playing tricks on you. I, for one, know that this was not the case for me. On to the story. First off, I am quite the junkie for anything paranormal, and have not written very much, but my story needs to be heard. It all started with a thread on a forum about the paranormal. This thread was discussing a subject I had never heard about before. It was created for the purpose of informing people on how to sell salt to spirits at the cemetery. I know what you are thinking. It sounded ridiculous, too, at first, but the more that I read into it, the more intrigued I became. With the idea of being able to make some quick cash. The fact that it involved the paranormal didn't help to sway my interest. I've always been fascinated with the paranormal hints, being on the paranormal forums, and the thought of actually interacting with spirits without having to do extensive research into the occult just seemed like a really cool idea to me at the time. Each person who claimed to have done it before seemed so sincere with the stories they posted. I read the entire thread and several articles over the internet. I, for one, was skeptical, and that in itself was another reason why I chose to go. I went to bed shortly after and I forgot about the whole ordeal by the morning. The next day I found myself at a local Sam's Club to pick up a few things that I needed for the week. Food, paper products, you get the idea. As I was looking through the bulk food section, I came across 10 bags of salt. Obviously, it reminded me of what I read about the night prior. And the price was good, really good. I mean, if it was regular price, I probably wouldn't have bothered. But it was some cheap fucking salt. I got the bag of salt and the rest of the stuff I needed and checked out. I get home with my groceries and go about my everyday business. For the sake of the story, I will fast forward to night. It's around 10 p.m. and I have everything. I need to go to the cemetery. Ready? I spend the next hour reading more about the legend, and by this time I'm already having doubts and second thoughts. I am not even in the cemetery yet, but I feel the adrenaline rush and my heart rate is through the roof. I hate the monotony of night. So I pushed myself to get into the car. By 11 p.m., I began driving to the cemetery. As I was driving, I shit you not, the radio turned on by itself. Not once, but twice. Each time it was static, feedback, and made me jump out of my seat and near slammed on my brakes. 30 minutes later, I pull up to the front of the cemetery and sit in my car thinking about what a dumb idea it was to come here. And just goes to show that even a skeptical person is afraid when put into this situation. After a few thoughtful moments, I decide that it is now or never. You have to be in the cemetery, sitting beneath a tree by 12 p.m. 12 a.m., my bad. So I grab my bag of salt, the measure scoop I am using, and put the hood of my jacket up. I walk through the cemetery looking for a tree. It was so damn dark that I could hardly see a thing. I tripped over a small tombstone and spilled a large portion of salt all over the ground on my way to the tree. You can only imagine the doubts that I felt as I was quickly scooping the salt back into the bag. The legend says that if you leave before sun rises, bad shit happens. What happens differs from story to story, but they made it clear to not go back out. There was no turning back now. After so much of the salt off, After getting as much as the salt off the ground as I could, I proceeded to walk to the tree that I could barely make out in the pitch black distance. It was freezing, and I knew it was going to be a very long night. Seeing as how it was winter, the trees had no leaves on it, and it looked about as ominous as everything else in that damn place. After a moment of hesitation, I sit down, lean on the bag of salt against the tree. Sit down, lean the bag of salt against the tree, and wait for my first customer. For those of you who are not in the know, I'll take a few. I'll tell you a few things about selling salt to spirit legends. You must bring enough salt to give all spirits to you an equal amount of salt, or bad shit will happen. Hence why I was freaking out and when I tripped and poured most of it out. Sorry, I am stuttering my face off today. I don't know why. I'm so nervous. Anyways, you must never look ahead of you as you are waiting for customers. You must remain seated and keep your head looking down. If you look up at a customer, bad shit happens. And wait for a hand to present itself in front of your face. You may then pour the salt into the spirit's hands and thank them for the random object that turns into cash by daylight. Well, might need to do this myself. That they give you. It is said that they need salt to fend off evil spirits. Back to the story. You definitely didn't get off on that. Beneath the tree, waiting for something to happen, anything. After a while, maybe an hour, I began to realize how stupid this is. I tell myself I will wait for another hour, and if nothing happens, I'm leaving. After being bored and seeing as how you are not allowed to bring electronics, ghosts don't like that shit. They apparently do because they're messing with your radio, sir. I grabbed a handful of salt and began to sift it through my fingers and catch it in the opposite hand, underneath. I repeat this mindlessly, seeing as I had nothing else to do for the next 10 minutes or so until ... a fucking hand. I dropped the salt all over my lap and fumbled for the measuring cup. My heart is beating 1,000 times a minute, and I'm resisting the urge to look up. With limited vision, I have difficulty getting the salt for the hand, but it waits patiently and doesn't so much as shake. I pour the salt into the hand, it disappears. I hold out my hand, waiting for whatever I am supposed to receive to be given to me. About a minute later, I feel something pressed into my palm. I pull my hand back, say thank you in the calmest voice of command, and examine close to my face. It was the head of a dried dead flower. I put it into my pocket. Dried dead flower. Things started to pick up after that. Several other hands presented themselves in front of my face, obviously waiting for what I was selling. I gave each hand a level scoop of salt, and in return I got varied objects. The oddest one being a piece of pink ripped fabric. I don't know, maybe it might be Princess Peach. She was pretty crazy, and a lot of creepy pastas. It looked very old and frayed. I didn't care what it was, so long as it turned into something usable by morning. The hands didn't bother me so much after a while, but damn, after my third or fourth customer, I started to hear the most ungodly noises I've ever heard in my life. These were noises that I would, or probably any other human for that matter, have never heard. Nothing I could think of resembled them remotely. The noises would go for a while, then stop for an extended period of time. And, excuse me, While this was happening, I closed my eyes and covered my ears with my hands. I opened my eyes up to check every so often, but I kept them shut tightly. In between checks, to resist looking up at those fucking noises. Finally, the sun rose. I could leave now. I stand up, still looking at the ground by habit, to find my way to the path, and begin walking to the entrance of the cemetery. My numb hands fumbled trying to unlock the car door. As I got it open, I just realized how cold I was. I put the keys into ignition, turned on the heater, and began to drive home. During the drive, or walk, you may not look back at the cemetery. You have to keep your eyes forward until it is out of sight. After the long drive home, I went inside my house, put my things away, and rushed to my bed to cover up in my blankets, as I was still freezing. I lay down in bed to try to get warm, but I ended up dozing off from the sleepless night in the comfort of my bed. As I was sleeping, I dreamed I was back in the cemetery, sitting beneath a tree with a hand presenting itself in front of me. My eyes looked at the hand and began to follow its arm. Fuck. I saw its face in my dream. It was the head of a goat. It resembled, I don't know what this says, Baphomet, a pagan god I remember reading about. As I stared at it, it began to make those same fucking noises I heard in the cemetery again. I jolted awake and took a look at my clock. It was nearly 11 p.m. I always slept for nearly 16 hours is beyond me, but the thought passed me as I remembered the money I was supposed to have in my pocket. I put my hand in my pocket and noticed the things were gone. However, nothing was replaced them. They were empty. Since that night, I have been having that dream over that. Since I have been having that damn nightmare over and over, I constantly have the feeling of being watched. The same feeling that I had at the cemetery. It just won't go away. I literally believe that my house is haunted now. Unexplainable things have been happening very frequently, and they seem to be getting worse and worse. Almost every night, that fucking dream wakes me up before 12 a.m. As if they were trying to get me to go back to the cemetery to give them more salt. What do they need so much salt for? Are they eating rice? I mean, I could use some rice right now. God dang. Okay, hold on. I don't want to ever step foot into a cemetery again. I can't believe that I ever did this. Whatever I was serving was no spirit, but something much worse. I would even go to say as far as there were demons. You got a goat head, I mean. And now they torment me. I don't know what to do if this shit keeps happening. The thought keeps crossing my mind that isn't going that I need to bring them more salt, or they will stop torturing me like this. That's exactly what they want me to do, isn't it? I still have over half the bag of salt left from the last time. It will be my final. It'll be a final resort for me if I can't get these demons out of my life by other means. If you're reading this, please never try this. It will ruin your life. And then that finishes salt. Well, what do I have to say about salt? I don't have very much to say about it. It's not creepy. It's sort of just like a warning. I mean, if you don't want someone to do something, why are you telling them about it? Humans are naturally curious. If you're telling someone not to do something and then giving them instructions about it, they're going to do it more than likely. Especially a teenager. I mean, a teenager would do that just out of stupidity. Oh, well, you know what? I don't believe in this. I don't believe about demons or anything like that. Let me go buy a bag of salt and show you how stupid you are for doing this. For even saying not to. Gosh, idiots. No, that's exactly what they're gonna say. If I had to rate this out of a one rate this 1 out of 10 bones. That's what I use for rating. 10 is best, 1 is worst, 0 is just -10 is god awful. I would say this would be a 5 at most, a positive 5. And with that, I'm going to end this. My hand is leaning right on my face. I can't believe this. I'll see you if you have a creepypasta you want me to read. Please send me it somehow. Leave a suggestion for it, and I'll check it out. If I like it, then I promise you I will show you somehow I like it. This has been Minecraft Readable rating us god awful, not god awful, but a 5 on it. I'll see you next time.